This is the stream test for the Board of Commissioners December 2 agenda.
Good evening. Thank you all in advance for being here this afternoon for this auspicious occasion. We will get started. I have called the meeting to order. We will have the presentation of colors, the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the invocation by Commissioner Sterl Stallings. And if you will remain standing till all of those things have been done. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Detail. Move. Left. Face. Close.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I invite you to remain standing and pray with me or have a moment of personal reflection or meditation. Creator God of many names, we give thanks for this day and for this opportunity to gather together this evening to celebrate and recognize elected leaders in our community. Thank you for those in our midst this evening and for those throughout the county, state, and nation who have answered the call to serve. We also give thanks for our partners and spouses, family members, neighbors, and friends, many who are with us this evening, who support us in this journey of public service. Help us to remember the importance of public trust, transparency, responsibility, and accountability as we work to make decisions on behalf of our community. Help us to be bold and courageous in our service, and help us to be the people that you call us to be. Amen.
You may be seated. Again, I want to welcome all of you to the Board of Commissioners' final meeting of 2024. We will get started with our items of business. First up, we have the oath of offices for our 3 re-elected commissioners. We will start first with Commissioner Susan P. Evans, administered by Sheriff Rowe. Commissioner Evans' family, please join her.
Good evening. As a lifelong resident of Wake County and as your elected sheriff, it's an honor and privilege for me to administer the oath of office to Commissioner Evans. Commissioner Evans has a heart for the county and for the people of this county. She has a servant heart. She's committed to creating equal access for greater quality of life for all. I've known her for decades, and she models that behavior and that conduct in all that she do. And it is a privilege that we have her offering her talents, her time, skills to serve this community. So again, I thank you for this honor, and at this time, we will proceed with the oath of office. Okay, if you can place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Susan P. Evans, do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office of Commissioner for the County of Wake, and that I will not allow my actions to be influenced by personal or political friendships or obligations. So help me God. Congratulations.
I want to say thank you so much to Sheriff Rowe for coming and sharing his time with me today. We've been friends, like he said, for a number of years, and we've worked together to better this community, and it means a great deal to me to have him here with me. Of course, I want to say thank you to the citizens who have shown their faith and confidence in me once again. And this is my 3rd swearing in as a county commissioner, and I don't take that lightly. I also need to say a special thanks to my family who supports me in these endeavors, especially to my husband, Chuck, who's with me tonight. This begins my 12th year of elected service, and you can't do it without a spouse and family that supports you. So I appreciate your patience with all of that. And he's okay with the fact that I don't cook dinner very often, so that matters too. I was thinking this morning about when I first ran for this office in 2018, and what were the things that I said I would like to accomplish as a county commissioner. And my 3 top focus areas that I campaigned on were supporting education, housing, and transit and transportation. So I'd like to touch on a few things that have happened since we've been on the board together, since 2018. We've worked tirelessly and been successful in improving relations with Wake County Public School System, both our staff, their staff, and the electeds working together. We now have very respectful, collaborative budget negotiations, and I'm happy to see some of the school board members here tonight, and I hope that they would agree with that. We've also worked together to execute 7-year rolling capital plans to determine where schools need to be built and renovations need to take place, and been successful with a couple of construction bonds for the school district. I've also been dedicated to supporting early childhood education through Smart Start. This board has continued to increase our investment in early childhood education in recent years to the point that we are now funding enough money in addition to what the state provides for every 4-year-old who qualifies for the North Carolina pre-K program to be able to have a slot in Wake County, and that is huge. That takes several $1 million to make that happen. The state funding is inadequate, and in case you don't know. We've also began a couple of years ago to implement a similar program for 3-year-olds in our community that meet the same income metrics as the 4-year program, and we're now up to serving 300 students in that program, fully funded by the county. We're looking forward to continuing to expand that. We work always together with our Wake Tech partners, getting folks ready for careers. We've put into place new programs like the Wake Works Apprenticeship Program, and are so happy for the work that we do together with Wake Tech. So I'm happy to say I've supported education from preschool to career and done so in a robust way. Housing. Well, we've hired our first housing and community revitalization director in 2019, right after I got on the board. She built a very robust department where we're working to fund affordable housing rental communities by providing gap funding. We've done a lot of that, almost 3,000 units in the last few years. We're doing a lot of work with homeless mitigation and service and placing those folks in homes. We are working with first-time homeowners. We have a down payment assistance program. We now have a housing preservation fund. That's a public-private partnership. We're working together with folks, and many other programs that we've started since 2019, and I'm very proud of our work there. As far as my interest in transit and transportation, you know, we've made a lot of progress with the Wake Transit Plan. We've really enhanced bus service throughout Wake County. We've increased the number of routes. We've increased the frequency. We've expanded bus service into some of the municipal and suburban areas that didn't previously had any. We've added microtransit in some of the outlying areas, and we are working to begin our first bus rapid transit routes, and we are still working tirelessly to plan for regional rail solutions, even though we've run into some challenges with funding for that. I also serve on the board of the local MPO, otherwise known as CAMPO, which has responsibility for prioritizing road projects for DOT in the region, and also overseeing the implementation of our Wake Transit Plan. So those are my highlights of, I think that I've done what I said I would do in those areas that I campaigned on 6 years ago. But additionally, we do so much more on this board. During my time, we've encouraged economic development and workforce development. As the public health agency for the county, we oversaw a pandemic health emergency. We've expanded our EMS and fire district services significantly, and we're providing strong support for our sheriff's department. We worked with our planning staff to do a thoughtful update to our comprehensive land plan. We put into place programs to preserve farmland in Wake County and even received the award from the Secretary of Agriculture, Troxler, named the County of the Year for that work this year. And through our Hospitality Fund's ILA process, interlocal agreement process, we determined funding plans for enhancements to the PNC, now known as Lenovo Center, and expansions to the Raleigh Convention Center and more. This list barely scratches the surface of all the work that we do, but I am truly proud of the work that this board does, along with our awesome county staff. And I'm excited for the things that are on the horizon, both those known and unknown. I'm especially proud to be part of an elected body who exhibits decorum, integrity, and models good governance. We sometimes feel as the Board of Commissioners that we fall under the radar a bit, but if that's because we're doing the right things in the right way, I'll take that every day. So I look forward to continuing this work, and I appreciate the community's support in me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Evans, and congratulations. After she signs her oath, she and Sheriff Rowe, we have Commissioner Tara Waters, oath administered by the Honorable Abe Jones. No worries, I'll come, thank you. Representative Jones was supposed to be here, but some of you may or may not know he had a medical procedure. So I, as the clerk, will administer Commissioner Waters' oath today.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Ms. Gilliard, and Representative Jones was very steadfast in his desire to be here. So I really appreciate you stepping in, and I certainly send my thoughts with him as he's not with us at this moment, but thank you.
And so Mom has the Bible. So Mom, if you want to come around, and I can kind of step to the side. Okay, place your left hand, raise your right. Right hand, left. Repeat after me. I, Tara Waters,
I, Tara Waters,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office of Commissioner for the County of Wake, and I will not allow my actions to be influenced by personal or political friendships or obligation. So help me God. Congratulations. And I will sign this because I administered and I have Representative Jones' name on here. But congratulations. Feel free to make remarks. You want to hold this and or that, whichever one you want to do.
Well, good evening, everyone. I stand here completely humbled for the opportunity to serve in this great way. And thank you to Clerk Gilliard for administering the oath. And thank you for all the support that I've received. And I have to really acknowledge so many who are special to me and who are standing here with me, who started this journey with me 46 years ago. My sweet mother and father, Albert and Barbara Waters, have always stood with me through all of my dreams and my goals and all of my big ambitions. And so really have been honored and humbled to have them with me. And also my sweet boys, Caleb and Christian. When I started this political journey, Caleb was actually shorter than me, and so time has definitely flown. And sweet Christian, and the sacrifices that they make of their mom to be able to serve and to be able to do this work is deeply honoring to me. And so as I stand here, my road to this journey has been very unconventional. So many things have had to come together, and those are a culmination of lots of prayers and lots of faith. And I see my Bible study teacher in the back there who can talk about the best gift that I ever received was the habit of reading through the Bible every year, and it really grew my faith. There's a scripture that says that God has chosen the foolish things of the world, and for someone so shy and so soft-spoken to be able to represent so many voices is the honor of my life, to be able to stand and give voice to those that are often overlooked, those who may be in foster care or who may be experiencing other challenges, the disability community. I hope to always give voice to those who are often left out of the opportunity to be able to speak. And so I'm deeply honored to be able to continue to do this work. And as I said, it's a very unconventional way. And my journey started through the Wake Board of Education, which I will always esteem as the hardest working elected body in Wake County, caring for 170,000 students. And I see my sweet colleagues and friends here tonight who have been deeply committed to my success. Monica Johnson-Hostler, Tyler Swanson, Toshiba Rice, and all of the members of the Board of Education have stepped in so many ways to make sure I could succeed through their kind words, their contributions, and their words of affirmation. Even in my darkest times, they always have believed in me. And so that kind of support and friendship can take you so many different places. And so as I continue to serve in this role, there are so many who have been a part of this journey. I see so many faces here that are so meaningful. My friend Dwight Spencer was here a moment ago, and my dear cousin Brady Bussey, and so many names that I don't even want to call them all because I don't have my glasses and I probably can't see half of the faces, but it's just deeply honoring to be able to serve. And so as I go forth in this journey, I can't help but think of the legacy and those that came before me. It's just been just over a year that we lost the great hero of this county, Dr. James West, and all of his work. And I always say I will never fill his shoes, but he left a tremendous blueprint for how to do this work well and how to serve and how to give and how to have compassion for others. And also just a sweet moment of history. This seat was also held by the late Vernon Malone, and his wonderful wife was my AKA advisor, and she probably would never have dreamed that I would be here holding this seat because I was known as Pink Whisper, so soft-spoken and barely ever spoke. But it's deeply honoring to be able to have the encouragement and the opportunity to serve. Team Wake is amazing. I've been overwhelmed by the kindness of all of the staff at Team Wake. My colleagues who are here have each a important part of my journey, and even acknowledging my dear colleague Vicki Adamson, who is here with us tonight, my very first campaign donor ever. And so just so much love, and I would be remiss if I didn't say just a sweet prayer to sweet Lord Jesus for believing that someone like me could do this work, and I hope to be able to serve all of you well and to be accessible to you and to always serve with a heart that understands that everybody deserves to have a voice in this process. So thank you so much for being here and your time.
Thank you, Commissioner Waters, and congratulations again. Next, we will have our current Chair, Shanika Thomas, oath administered by the Honorable Sherry Beasley. And family, please join her down front as well.
as Shanika and her family approach, I just want to thank her for inviting me to do this evening and address the Board of Commissioners. And thank you so much for your service to Wake County and to the people of North Carolina. And as I greet you, I also greet family and friends and people here who care a lot about this county. I'm particularly delighted to administer this oath this evening to Shanika Thomas. The first time I had the honor and pleasure of administering the oath, we were virtual, and so we were not in the same room. She was with her family around the hearth of her fireplace, and I was watching her on a screen. And so I'm delighted that we're able to do this here this evening. I'm so excited and thankful for her leadership. I'm so thankful for the woman that she is and for her ingenuity and her willingness to step up and do hard things. I really appreciated watching her as she's led this Board of Commission, and also really been excited to see her elevate Wake County to the national level with the National Association of Counties as she's chairing this technology committee. So I know that the best is yet to come, not just for Shanika, but for this board and for this county as well. And I would indeed be remiss, and everybody here knows it, that if I didn't give a shout out to Raymond. He's an amazing partner and supporter. He's a wonderful man in his own right. And it's really beautiful to see them both as they chart this course together, as he supports Shanika in all that she does. And I just appreciate seeing you with a smile and bits of encouragement to her and to me. So I thank you. At this time, I shall administer the oath of office. Are you ready to receive it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to let you hold this. Well, I'll hold it. Okay. Place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right. I state your name.
I, Shanika Thomas,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and Constitution and laws
and Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
of Commissioner of the County of Wake,
of Commissioner of the County of Wake,
and that I will not allow
and that I will not allow
my actions
my actions
to be influenced
to be influenced
by personal
by personal
or political friendships
or political friendships
or obligations.
or obligations.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, we should sign.
Okay. Thank you so much. I just want to acknowledge my family that is standing here with me. My husband, that you all know, Raymond, of course. My brother-in-law, David. My oldest son, Eli. And my spiritual parents, Pastor and Lady Chapman from Raleigh North Christian Center. Many of you know my father passed away 2 years ago, and my mother has had cancer since I was elected in 2020. And this actually today is 2 years that she has been in remission, and so she could not travel. But I know she's watching, so hey, Mom. And so my spiritual parents are here in my physical parents' stead. And so I'm actually going to, many of you know, I am a Christian. I believe in prayer. And I know that this is a government building and all of these things, but it's important to me to give my pastor and his wife, my spiritual parents, an opportunity to pray for these next 4 years. This has not been an easy journey these first 4 years, and I understand that these next 4 are going to be challenging as well. This work is not easy. And so, Pastor Chapman, would you please come pray for us?
If you would bow your heads. Father, as we approach you, Father, humbly, knowing, Father, that you have everything under total control. Father, as Commissioner Thomas accepts this call, we ask you, God, to be with her, that her decisions be sharp, that you will lead and guide her in the way that she needs to go, that her decisions, God, will reverberate not just to the city of Raleigh, but to this county, and that it will continue to go out into this state and have the impact into this United States. Father, we ask you right now to cover her, Father. I pray right now every dollar that needs to come in to make this city work, to make this county work, will come in. I come and speak, oh God, healing upon her mother, healing upon sickness and disease that will, God, try to wreck people's lives. Today, we are thankful that you have now, God, called her for this such call as this. Too much is given, much is required. And Father, she has all the insight and all the knowledge to walk into this call. We thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, and congratulations, Commissioner Thomas. Next, we will have the oath of office for Wake County Register of Deeds. Tammy Bruner, sworn in by the Honorable Julie Von Hafen, North Carolina State Representative, District 36.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Julie Von Hafen. I serve in the North Carolina General Assembly, and I'm just really excited to be here to swear in my friend Tammy Bruner into her second term as the Register of Deeds here in Wake County. This is a full circle moment for me. I was reflecting on the fact I've known Tammy since either of us was in elected office. And Tammy was actually one of the people that recruited me to run for the North Carolina General Assembly. So to be here swearing her in, I'm going into my 4th term in the legislature, and now she's serving in elected office as 2 women. It's really amazing, and she's done such an amazing job as our Register of Deeds. It's obviously an office that not a lot of people know about unless you have a problem. So, but she is like the perfect person for this job because she's so friendly and like she's run the office so wonderfully. And I'm just excited that she is her staff here. Hopefully they agree. But I'm just really excited that she decided to do it again and to be back for another term. So thank you for asking me to be here tonight. So we'll go ahead and get started. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Tammy Bruner,
I, Tammy Bruner,
do solemnly affirm that I will support and maintain
do solemnly affirm that I will
support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Register of Deeds of Wake County.
as Register of Deeds of Wake County.
I, Tammy Bruner,
I, Tammy Bruner,
do solemnly and sincerely affirm
do solemnly and sincerely affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina,
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state,
maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
I, Tammy Bruner,
I, Tammy Bruner,
do affirm that I
do affirm that I
will well and truly execute the duties
will well and truly execute the duties
of the Office of Register of Deeds of Wake County
of the Office of Register of Deeds of Wake County
according to the best of my skill and ability,
according to the best of my skill and ability,
according to law.
according to law. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Tammy.
Do we sign two? Everybody, I promise I'll keep this really extremely brief. I just want to thank a few people. Julie, I was going to state that this is like a full circle moment. I can remember meeting with you and twisting your arm along with some other people in this room, and what a great job you've done. Thank you so much for showing up tonight, as busy as you are. I also wanted to make sure that I thanked my family, Ben and Mr. Deeds is what we call him. My husband, Robbie, who put up with all of the things that this job doesn't take me away from home as much as my previous jobs. So maybe they wish that I would go back to the other jobs. I'm unsure. But thank y'all so much. I want to thank the friends, the people that have showed up here today. There's a ton of you, and I so much appreciate it. Every single one of you show up for me every single day, and I just can't thank you enough. Without you, I literally wouldn't be standing here today. I do really, really wish that my mom could be here today. When I was sworn in 2020, it was COVID, and I literally walked upstairs, didn't know what the heck I was doing, and just kind of got sworn in. So the reason I invited everybody to come today is because we kind of missed it the first go-around. I really also want to thank my staff. I get a lot of credit for stuff that I do in my office, and not one thing would be done without my staff, not one of them. If you're a Register of Deeds staff, please stand. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Everything I have accomplished, we have accomplished. All you guys needed was somebody to tell you yes, and y'all have just gone with it. Thank y'all so very much. I can't wait to continue this. It's the best job I've ever had, and do not tell other people. Thank you.
Next, we will have the oath of office for Soil and Water District Supervisors, Thomas Dean, sworn in by the Honorable Paul Newby, if he's here, and Reese Wamsley, sworn in by myself. state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are
which are
or may be established
or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support,
to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I,
I,
Thomas Dean,
Thomas Dean,
do swear
do swear
that I will
that I will
well and truly execute
truly execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Wake
of Wake
Soil and Water Conservation
Soil and Water Conservation
District Supervisor
District Supervisor
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skills
and ability,
and ability,
according to law,
according to law.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you. That was a lot for old country boy. All I got to say is I'm 66 years old. I was born and lived here in Wake County all my life. I've seen a lot of changes, a lot for the good. But I really want to thank our county commissioners for supporting the district and look forward to working with you all for the next 4 years. And I really want to appreciate our staff. Stand up, please. Wake County Soil and Water District. And look forward to working with them. Thank you.
Repeat after me, Mr. Swanson. I, Reese Swanson,
I, Reese Wamsley,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support
that I will support
and maintain the Constitution
and maintain the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Wake Soil and Water Conservation
as Wake Soil and Water Conservation
District Supervisor,
District Supervisor.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I, Reese Wamsley,
I, Reese Wamsley,
do solemnly and sincerely affirm
do solemnly and sincerely affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North
to
Carolina
the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are
which are
or may be established
or may be established
government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support, maintain,
maintain,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United
to
States,
the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I, Reese Wamsley,
I, Reese Walmsley,
do affirm
do affirm
that I will well and truly execute
that I will well and truly execute
the duties of the office of Wake
the duties of the office of Wake
Soil and Water Conservation
Soil and Water Conservation
District Supervisor
District Supervisor,
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to law,
according to law.
so help me God.
So help me God. It seems tonight that I am the only person that's doing this for the first time, which is terrifying but exciting. But thank you very much to everyone in this room. Thank you to my friends and family who I know are watching me right now, which is wonderful that we can do that since they could not make it here tonight. I also want to thank the citizens of Wake County and everyone who lives and works here, because it wasn't for them, none of us that have been up here tonight or that sit behind me would be here. I would also like to thank our community, because that is what we are as citizens of Wake County. It is our responsibility together to work forward and ensure that the natural resources that we have that are so varied within Wake County remain for us and for future generations. So with that said, thank you. I look forward to working with and working for each and every one of you and every member of our community. Thank you very much.
Well, Commissioner Calabria, you said I used to have 3 minutes of fame. It's been about an hour now. So I'll take it. All right. So at this time, we're going to have the election of the chair of the board for a term of 1 year. I will call for nominations, and after the nominations, we will do a voice vote. So I'll call for nominations for the chair of the board.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Matt Calabria.
Are there any other nominations for chair of the board? None. I will close it. At this point, we will vote. Tony, are you ready? I will actually do a voice vote. I'm going to start over here with Commissioner Waters. A or nay?
A.
Commissioner Stallings?
A.
Commissioner Calabria? Commissioner Thomas?
A.
Commissioner Evans?
A.
Commissioner Adamson?
Yay.
Commissioner Mile?
A.
Well, let's do the math. 7-0. Congratulations. the new chair gets his or her gavel. So on behalf of your team and this staff, here's your new gavel.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Did you get everything you needed? Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, for running a smooth county commission meeting. I first want to start by thanking my colleagues for the faith that they've put in me to help support the team. To a person, this is a board of people who are committed, who work very hard, who are in it for the right reasons, and it is so heartening to work every day with my 6 colleagues up here. I know from my first term as chair in 2021 that you don't always know what challenges will come to you in the course of a year, but I know that we've got a team that is as well suited as anyone in the state or in the country to tackle those challenges. And of course, we have the world's best staff here to work with us as well. So I'm very much looking forward to the days and months ahead. My job is to support the team and to enable it to achieve its goals, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm committed to that, I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to a very good year. And as Chief Justice Beasley said earlier, the best is yet to come. So thank you all very much. Okay, with that, the first order of business is the election of the vice chair for a term of 1 year. The floor is open for nominations.
Mr. Chair, I would like to nominate Commissioner Don Mile for the vice chair role.
Thank you, Commissioner Stallings. Are there any other nominations? Going once, going twice. Okay, we will take a voice vote. We'll start at Commissioner Waters' end of the podium, or of the dais.
A.
Commissioner Stallings.
A.
Commissioner Thomas.
A.
I'll vote A as well.
A.
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 Well, the ayes have it. Commissioner Mile, congratulations on being elected as vice chair. What's that? I think we're going to take a break in just a second for our class photo. But before we do that, I want to make sure I recognize our outgoing chair, Commissioner Shanika Thomas. Commissioner Thomas, if you would join me over at the podium. Well, it's that time of year again. As incoming chair, I want to just say a few words about our outgoing chair, Shanika Thomas, who has done an exemplary job in this role. This is someone who you all know has brought her considerable life experience and leadership experiences to a role, but has also not forgotten what it's like to be in the shoes of other people, of all walks of life throughout our community, and has really, I think, worked very hard to look at things objectively, look at things from different angles, and not only be thoughtful about it, but also be very empathetic. We know that she has attained a number of leadership roles, not just on our county commission, but in the state, and also now nationally, and rightfully deserved, of course. And so aside from telling us that you're a glutton for punishment, it does tell us a lot about what other people see in you, which is absolutely accurate. You are someone who is incisive and thoughtful and extremely hardworking to the point of self-sacrifice sometimes, but someone who really is, I think, in the best tradition of what we like to think of ourselves as Wake County residents, people who try to be forward-thinking, committed, humane, and also doing it with a fair bit of good humor, I have to say, as well. You know, I was looking back at what we've been up to in the past couple of years, and I think Commissioner Evans and others have really summarized all of the great work that we've been doing. But just in your time as chair, with your leadership, we've opened major educational, health, and public safety facilities. We've expanded our affordable housing stock. We've increased support for behavioral health. We've developed especially through your leadership, our digital inclusion plan and secured major grants to expand broadband and expand digital inclusion and equity. We have negotiated a deal that was both fair to taxpayers and guaranteed that the hurricanes will be here for years to come. We've increased our fleet. Yeah, I heard some applause back there for that. We've increased our fleet of ambulances. We've ensured that we recruit and retain sufficient first responders to keep up with our growing population. We've supported our public schools more than ever before. We've built on our commitment to educating our youngest learners through early childhood education programs. We've made strides in combating the opioid epidemic. We've launched our legal support center, which is one of the first things that happened in your term as chair. And we've landed some of the biggest economic development projects in the county's history. And I have to say, one of the most lasting legacies that probably went under the radar a little bit is the degree to which you looked out for our staff. And I think that maybe it was resonating your HR background, or maybe it was just the solidarity and the compassion and team spirit that you brought to this job. But I think that a few years down the road, we're going to really appreciate looking back everything that you did to do right by our folks, to support our folks, and to make sure that we're recruiting and retaining great people across the organization. So thank you for that. I have to say, the one irritating thing about you being chair is I have to have the same conversation all the time. Hey, I just met your chair. She's really smart. Yes, I know she's really smart. Isn't she amazing? Yes, she's really amazing. And it goes on and on and on. But I also want to thank two other people. First, I want to recognize Raymond. Where'd he go? I know he's here somewhere. There he is. Who's got about as good an attendance record at our meetings as anybody, and is certainly spouse extraordinaire. Your loss has certainly been our gain. So thank you for sharing your spouse with us. Please continue to coming to meetings. It's always good to have you here. And I also want to say just a couple of words about our outgoing vice chair, Commissioner Susan Evans, who always approaches things in a very incisive way, who I think has really ensured that we always bring a thoughtful approach, a deliberative approach, and has brought to bear her considerable experience as a school board member and as and also in the private sector as well. And as she mentioned earlier, has also been a very hardworking advocate for our county when it comes to all sorts of transportation issues, education issues, and so many other things. So, Commissioner Evans, I do want to thank you for all of your work as well. But again, Chair Thomas, thank you for choosing, among all of the things that you could be doing, and I know it's a very long list, for choosing to give so much of your life and your energy and your time to supporting the county and making your community a better place. So thank you for a job very well done, and I wanted to turn it over to you in case you have any thoughts that you might want to share.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Calabria. I just want to say that these last 2 years have truly been the honor of my professional life. I've had an opportunity to manage regional projects and work in HR, like Matt said, for a very long time, manage associations, executive director of national, international associations, but work for Girl Scouts. My Girl Scout friends are back there as their director of advocacy, and I love the girls and the way that we serve them as a Girl Scout. I'm a lifetime Girl Scout, but this work at Wake County, not just being commissioner, but being chair of this board, being the spokesperson for this board for 2 years, has truly been the honor of my professional career. And it has not been easy. Commissioner Calabria and I have constant conversations about how the seven of us truly make it look easy, but it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of long days. And after you do all of that, you still got a ton of email to answer because constituent services is really the vein of everything that we do, making sure that we're responsive. But I just want to say a special, special thank you to my husband. Everybody knows my husband, Raymond. And he's always there. I remember we've been married. This June will be 30 years that we've been married. And and I tell him often that, I tell people often that Raymond is supportive no matter what I want to do. If I told him I wanted to go to the moon, he would say, babe, call me when you get there so I can make sure you got there safely. So thank you, babe. Thank you for that for the support. And I also want to say thank you to Manager Ellis and the clerks team, because I could not have done this work without them, without their support, without their sacrifice, the late phone calls, the early phone calls. And for those of you who know me, I don't talk to people before 9 o'clock in the morning. But they called me and kept me on task, and so I really, really appreciate that. When Commissioner Calabria talks about the opportunity to recruit and retain, Wake County is a large employer in this region, and I really, really wanted to make sure, with all the other things that we were doing, that we were recognized as such, and that we were the best employer. Not just a large employer, but the best employer. And I think that we are doing great things toward that. My work with broadband infrastructure and technology, I think that my friend Annette Taylor is in the back, NCDIT, and it has been a great partnership and a joy, Annette, to work with you to make sure that our residents have internet access and digital equity. Wake County's strength lies in its people, and I'm confident that the momentum that we've built together will carry us to even greater heights. And Matt, I offer my support and encouragement to you. You were the chair during COVID, and I believe you to be fair and deliberate and intentional and a convener. And so I look forward to the camaraderie and the constant conversations under your leadership. So blessings to you. So while my time as chair has come to an end, my commitment to Wake County has not. And together we've shown that when we work as one, there's nothing that we can't achieve. So thank you so much for trusting me to lead. And let's continue to build a brighter future together, because we are better together. Thank you so much, everyone.
There you go. And before you go, I have a couple of items to present to you. The first is this commemorative gavel. Related to the time that you have been chair. This says, Madam Chair Shanika Thomas, Wake County Board of Commissioners 2024. So here's this.
Thank you.
And I'm going to try not to get fingerprints on it, but we have this wonderful plaque also in recognition of your time as chair, presented to Shanika Thomas in recognition of appreciation of your dedication, integrity, leadership, and contributions to the residents of Wake County as chair of the board. Wake County Board of Commissioners, December 2024.
Thank you so much. Now I have your fingerprints forever.
Yes, yeah. This may be yours as well. Thank you. Okay. Okay, with that, we are going to take a 5-minute recess just for a little bit to take a few photos and give everybody a break, and then we'll reconvene. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks, everyone. And just so everybody knows, everyone's welcome to stay here, but if you're here for swearing-ins, we're going to be starting the business portion of our meeting at this time, so you're welcome to stick around, but just wanted to let you know that. The first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of November 4th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. Okay, that brings us to the consent agenda portion of our agenda. As a reminder, all items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and can be enacted by one motion. If a commissioner does request discussion of an item, the item will be removed from the consent agenda, and that agenda item would be considered separately if that were the case. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Okay, that brings us to general public comment. At all of our regular meetings, the Board of Commissioners allocates time to hear from our residents. Attendees had an opportunity to sign up using our online sign-up app. We've also provided opportunities to sign up here in person as well. I have a list of people who signed up, and when I call your name, please do come to the podium. Give us your name. If you would, tell us about the part of the county that you reside in, and then you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak. When you have 1 minute left, the three little lights on the podium there will go from green to yellow, and then when your time has entirely elapsed, the red light will go on. If you're speaking at the time that the red light goes on, I'll ask you to complete your sentence. Unfortunately, we try to be even-handed in how we apply the speaking rules, so if I do have to cut you off, I'm very, very sorry. Please know it doesn't mean I agree with what you're saying or disagree with what you're saying. We just try to be fair to everyone. So this is your time. Please know that commissioners will not respond to comments that are shared today. It's our job to listen and to hear from you, and that's what we will do. So with that, we're going to start with the list of folks who have signed up to speak. The first one is Youssef Encore, and I apologize if I have mispronounced your name. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Yusuf Ashur. I live in Raleigh in Wake County, and I'm an exchange student from Tunisia, a country in North Africa with very rich history. I'm on a scholarship program fully funded by the U.S. Department of State, and I'm assigned to the placement organization Borderless Friends Forever, which is the only placement organization headquartered in North Carolina, specifically in Cary. And I go to Enloe Magnet High School. I would like to really appreciate the public school system in Wake County. My experience studying at Enloe has only been good so far, and I also appreciate the efforts put into green spaces like parks and forests all around Wake County. It makes it very beautiful. I would like to thank my organization, Borderless Friends Forever, and all their staff who are present with us today and those who are absent for all their efforts for us. And I would like to end up with expressing my wish for justice for people in Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, and all those suffering around the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, next on the list is Maribel Al-Khoury.
Good evening, everyone. I am Maribel Al-Khoury, and I'm an exchange student from Lebanon. I come with the KL YES program, which is the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program. It's a fully funded and organized program by the U.S. Department of State. My placement organization is Borderless Friends Forever, as known as BFF. I go to Willow Spring High School. It's a public high school, and I appreciate the public high schools that is funded by this Board of Commissioners. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Ayana Mirzakan, and I apologize for my pronunciation.
Hello, my name is Ayana, and I am exchange student from the Kazakhstan, which is located right in the Central Asia. And today I would like to, and I'm currently studying at Athens Drive Magnet High School. And first, I would like to say thank you for having us. And I'm really appreciate how Wake community cares about people with disabilities and supports educational programs, providing really good opportunities for students to build a bright future. And this is all thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next on the list, we have Laureen Khalil, if I've pronounced that correctly.
Good evening. My name is Lorraine, and I'm from Palestine, Bethlehem. I'm here today with my placement organization, Borderless Friends Forever, and I'm part of the YES program, which is sponsored by the U.S. Department. And I currently live in North Carolina, and I'll be spending my exchange year here. I want to say thank you for the warm and welcoming community I've found here. And one thing I truly appreciate from lots of things here about living in here is the focus on education and opportunities for growth, whether it's like the libraries, schools, or community events. I see how much effort is put into creating a space where people can learn and connect. And I also will end up praying for my people back in Palestine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Masara Hamasha.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Masara Hamasha. I'm an exchange student from Jordan, and I'm here on the YES Scholarship. My organization is BFF, Borderless Friends Forever, and I'm just here to show my appreciation to you guys for taking care of the nature here and creating a safe space where I can have a great exchange year. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Matas Karkauskas. Welcome.
Hey everyone, my name is Matas, and you did not butcher my last name.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
good.
I'm an exchange student from Lithuania. I go to Leesville Road High School, and I'm here on a flex scholarship. And my placement organization is also Borderless Friends Forever. And I would really like to express my deep appreciation for the education system. I have loved the school here, both academically and socially. I definitely love those Friday night football games. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Miriam Martin.
Okay, is it working? Okay. Hello, my name is Miriam, and I'm from Estonia, which is a country in North Europe. And I'm here as a flex exchange student. I really want to appreciate your public schools. I go to Eastwick High School, and also your smooth roads, like to ride on, because in Estonia they're so bad, but I love them here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so very much. Next up, we have Natalie Liu.
Change of pace now.
Yeah. Are you an exchange student? Yeah.
I do have a copy of my comment with pictures right here.
Thank you all very much for coming.
Natalie Liu, Raleigh, North Carolina. As I mentioned in a public comment a few months ago, RDU is breaking federal grant obligations by putting a rock quarry on residentially zoned land called Oddfellows. In addition, since April of this year, RDU has ignored a major border issue along Umstead State Park and RDU managed land, including Oddfellows. I have researched the area's land history back to the land grants from the 1700s. I've researched RDU and the park since their inceptions. RDU has taken 14 acres of Umstead State Park land. In the 1970s, the RDU surveyor made mistakes when surveying the land and creating maps. RDU people of that time knew of and hid the errors from the state. Then these same people knowingly blocked the state from incorporating Oddfellows into Umstead State Park. Current RDU people were made aware of these errors in April of this year. RDU then hired outside attorneys to counter my border findings. I informed RDU via public comment that their attorneys have drawn conclusions off partial and erroneous information. I asked to meet with them, crickets. Is RDU not confident of their attorneys' results? I can tear many holes in their sophomoric rebuttal of the facts that I presented. RDU's attorneys are basing their wrong conclusions on a 1970s map made by the RDU surveyor. The map actually totally ignores the land the park actually bought. RDU's attorneys took pictures that I made and used them for measuring the border distances. Those pictures weren't to scale. I made them from snips, resized them, drew on them, and resized them a few more times. RDU's attorneys discredited a known point that I described, but they did not actually go see this known point in the woods. If that point is off, then maps of Raleigh are off. RDU's attorneys acknowledged that Crabtree Creek moved. I agree. It moved in some places, but not in others. RDU's attorneys didn't actually verify which points moved and which did not, but I did. Based on my observations, RDU's attorneys and RDU staff have not fully informed the RDUAA members regarding this border issue, so the truth is basically being hidden. As it stands now, the public is not only having 14 acres of land taken from our park, public officials are wasting hundreds of thousands of public planning dollars that have already been invested in calling for Oddfellows to be a part of Umstead State Park. So my understanding is the state's trying to work with RDU regarding the border issue, but RDU is simply refusing, and they're standing on this false information. You all have a choice now to either listen to the truth or ignore it, basically be a responsible public official or not. So what my ask is tonight is that you contact your appointed RDU member and tell them that RDU must work with the state to have the border between airport and our public state park correctly surveyed and correctly marked. This needs to be done immediately because Wakestone's actually cutting trees in Umstead State Park. In that light, may demand that Wakestone pause all operations on Oddfellows until this border issue is resolved. Please don't let RDU, including the people you appoint, steal our parkland. The true park border must be respected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Jean Spooner. Welcome.
Dr. Jean Spooner, Chair of the Umstead Coalition. Congratulations, Wake County Board of Commissioners. Yes, we have an encroachment of a depth of over 120 feet, ranging from 123 to probably more like 145 feet over a great length from the East Coast Greenway to Crabtree Creek, up to 14 acres. A little history. In 1934, William B. Umstead State Park was established by the National Park Service. In purchasing that land, in 1937, Franklin D. Roosevelt authorized the United States Department of Interior, National Park Service, to purchase a tract known as the P.D. Davis Tract, 209 acres. This tract, Wake County Register of Deeds, Book 743, page 499, it's in the handout, I'll email it to you too. The legal description of the tract confirms confirms the boundary meets and bounds, reconfirmed in 1911, reconfirmed in 1937, reconfirmed today by CAD and everything. We are pretty certain that this, and you can measure the boundary on the ground, is correct and should be resurveyed and the historic surveyed by the State Property Office. This entire tract was transferred to the state of North Carolina, plus the rest of the acres, which is now in Umstead State Park in 1943, under a reverter clause that it must be used for recreational purposes. And this, of course, is the boundary that is between the Oddfellows Tract and William B. Umstead State Park. Not an issue because the Boy Scouts were using it, that William B. Umstead State Park was using it, et cetera, now is an issue. It was also hidden that this boundary had been lost, but now, been mismarked, but now known, cannot be unknown, and we urge that the State Property Office, who is willing to do a historic research and survey this site. You'll see a map that looks like this, and this is the P.D. Davis tract on the handouts I give you. If this corner right here between William B. Umstead State Park and your land that you own, quarter of the RDU Airport land, is wrong, then 6.2 miles of common boundary between the RDU Airport managed land, your land, and William B. Umstead State Park is wrong. So that corner is right, has to be right. It's on your IMAPs. I think everybody agrees to it. Then you draw down a line on a line that everybody agrees. It comes from the 1911 CL Duke farmland. You come down the exact 3,121.8 feet, and you end up with the correct border for William B. Umstead State Park, which unfortunately is marked incorrect. So please help us protect your land and the public lands of Wake County and of North Carolina. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Spooner. Next up, we have Mr. Raymond Thomas. Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Raymond Thomas, District 6, Wake County. I'd like to take a moment to reflect, though it may be hard with this 3-minute deadline, but let me talk about Shanika Thomas, a chair we needed for the time. As Wake County Chair, she has done her best holding it down, but if you know leadership, then you know heavy is the crown. Even still, she has made her mark, guiding the county, igniting the spark. 1 year as vice chair and now 2 at the lead, she's done her best to shape the county's future with vision and speed. Shanika doesn't just make moves to gain some cheers. Her decisions are timeless, built to last years. She's not about being popular. She's not about being pleasing. She's about justice, progress, and reasoning. As a constituent, I'm grateful she's here, a leader who serves with purpose and care. She's not chasing clout or a quick win. She's laying down roots, letting progress begin. But as her husband, I've seen much more, the late night planning, the work she adores, the sacrifice, the grind. I wonder, does it ever stop? But she does it with a smile and grace, all to keep Wake on top. She does her best to give credit when it's due, to give everyone their shine, the goal to maintain the integrity of the board and to hold the line. Inclusion's her mantra, unity is her goal, a leader working with heart and soul. She worked with the Assembly, tackled the bill, fighting for elections with courage and skill. She negotiated the deal to keep the Canes here and to get an upgraded Lenovo Center, her talent shining crystal clear. But let's not forget the Crown Act, ensuring fairness from head to feet, breaking down barriers, leveling the field, and not missing a beat. Shanika is a champion for justice, a strong tower. She indeed lives up to her nickname, Fight the Power. Up front or behind the scenes, she's steady and strong, focused on building the county where we all belong. Her care, her effort, she's an anchor, it's the sight to see. She's that delta, a change, a difference maker in our community. So I raise my voice to give her praise for the hard work and the trails that she's blazed. Wake County is shining, any storm we can weather. Whatever comes, we'll get through it because we're better together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas. Okay, and then the last item or person we have on the public comment list is just a first name, Curtis. Curtis? Okay. That concludes the list of folks who have signed up for public comment. We also provided an opportunity for residents to submit general comments online. This process is handled by our clerk. Ms. Gilliard, would you kindly share any public comments that you may have received for this meeting?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. We had 2 online comments, one from our Mr. Latta and one increased funding for the arts. I will include this in your package for tomorrow, and so you can read what they both had to say.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gilliard. That brings us to our regular agenda. We have one item on our regular agenda for today, which is the presentation of the annual comprehensive financial report for the previous fiscal year. Mr. Pat Flannery, our Chief Financial Officer, is here to share that with us. Mr. Flannery, the floor is yours.
Yep, thank you very much. Looks like somebody forgot their phone. All right, well, good evening, Commissioners. We are happy to be back before you to present the annual Comprehensive Financial Report, or the ACFR for short, for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2024. You should have all received a hard copy. Please let me know if you did not. And this also will be posted as a PDF to the county's website later this week. First off, I want to thank the entire Finance Department staff for their work throughout the year. My presenting the financials today is a result of their hard work throughout the entire fiscal year. I want to give a special thanks to our Accounting and Reporting Director, Seth Larson, and our Deputy Finance Director, Kim Lorbacher, for their work on the audit and statements. It was another challenging year, and I appreciate all their hard work. We would also like to thank the staff at Health and Human Services, the Sheriff's Office, the County Attorney's Office, IT, along with our auditors, Malden and Jenkins, for their assistance during the audit process this year. We'll do some next steps. We'll walk through the financials, and then we'll do some next steps, and then I will hand it off to our auditors. First, a little background on today's presentation. North Carolina General Statute 159-34 requires the county to have an audit of its financial statements annually by external auditors. In addition, the county is required to have an audit for certain federal and state grant programs and our internal controls over financial reporting. This is commonly referred to as the single audit. Our auditors, Malden and Jenkins, completed the financial statement audit for the county for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, and this is their third year in a row serving as our auditors. I will share high-level results and financial position for fiscal year 2024, and then we'll have Leanne Pagasala, the director from Malden and Jenkins, who will share the results of the audit engagement. Then I'll wrap up the presentation with next steps and questions. First, we'll talk about the general fund highlights for fiscal 2024. Overall, county revenues exceeded expenditures by $30.8 million. That $30.8 million is the excess or add to fund balance for fiscal 2024. Revenues were $26.9 million over budget, or 1.4%, which were driven by slightly higher than expected collections for property taxes of $20.5 million, charges for other services of $10 million from higher EMS fees, and intergovernmental revenues of $7.6 million resulting from increased state and federal funding for health and human services. These were offset by sales tax that came in approximately $15 million below budget due to the slowing of sales tax growth and lower amount received from the state for Medicaid hold harmless. Expenditures were $59.3 million below budget, or 96.9% of budget, which is very consistent with the past few years. $55 million of fund balance was budgeted to be appropriated and expended in fiscal 24, however, none was used. Next, we'll just take a quick look at the general fund expenditures. The county had $1.86 billion in general fund expenditures for fiscal 24, which is $59.3 million below budget, but was $144 million higher than the previous fiscal year. Now, looking at the expenditures by function, education, which is the appropriations to Wake County Public Schools and Wake Tech Community College, remains the county's single largest expenditure and makes up 30% of the annual expenditures. The next largest is transfers to other funds, which is comprised mostly of transfers to debt and capital for the Wake County Public Schools and Wake Tech Community College capital programs. The largest departmental expense is Health and Human Services, which comprises 12% of the budget, followed by Public Safety with 11%. General Government and Community and Environmental Services both comprise 4% of expenditures, and Infrastructure, which is GSA, FD&C, and IT, are 3%. Next up is fund balance comparison on the general fund. While the county's fund balance policies calculate metrics based on total fund balance amounts, the county commits certain amounts of fund balance to specific projects or programs. When the county considers fund balance in its long-term financial planning, these committed amounts are not factored as being truly available to meet ongoing operating, capital, and debt obligations. The first line shows these commitments that are either restricted, committed, or assigned. Nearly two-thirds of the $194.5 million is restricted per state statute. The county does have several large amounts committed to fund balance, with behavioral health at the largest at $52.8 million, excess ABC funds of nearly $5 million, and $3.6 million of rollback taxes were added from the general fund to the Agricultural Conservation Easement Program this past year. As seen at the bottom of this chart, the county continues to meet its policy requirements for fund balance on the general fund. The county requires a minimum ratio of 15% fund balance over the next year's budget. The county finished fiscal 24 at 30.01%. Per policy, the county also requires a 10% minimum on working capital as a percentage of next year's budget. We ended fiscal 24 at 20.63%. Both percentages dropped slightly due to the increase in the budget from fiscal 23 to fiscal 24. A critical component for the county maintaining its AAA credit rating among all three rating agencies is the combined general fund and debt service fund ratio. This measures the combined fund balance over their combined revenue and is net of transfers between the two funds. The fund balance ratio was 43.9% at fiscal year end for 24, which is very consistent with the previous year's numbers and above the county's required policy minimum of 30%. Just a few highlights from fiscal '24. The county received an unmodified, or what we like to call a clean opinion, from our auditors, Malden and Jenkins. The county ended fiscal '24 in solid financial position due to slightly better than anticipated property taxes and some departmental savings, especially among behavioral health. The county did contribute $4 million to the OPEB trust fund per the approved funding policy. We had very strong investment returns in fiscal '24 of $87.1 million, which helped add capacity throughout the county's general fund. And the county expended $64.9 million of federal and state funding, with nearly $39 million of that being ARPA funds. All right, next steps, we will be circulating a response letter to the LGC for your signature. Any findings require a response to the LGC. We have 2 very minor items this year. That letter details these items and the response. If you do have any questions before you sign that, please reach out to me. Per policy, we will be appropriating a portion of the excess fund balance to the OPEB trust fund. And if you have any specific detailed questions on the financials, expenditures, or policies, we are more than happy to research and get back to you with any answers. Finally, I'd like to mention that the annual comprehensive financial report is submitted to the Government Finance Officers Association of the U.S. and Canada for consideration of the Achievement of Excellence for Financial Reporting Award. The county received this award for last year's ACFR, marking the 40th consecutive year the county has received this recognition. Before I turn it over to our audit partners at Malden & Jenkins, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, sir. Questions or comments from board members? Yes, Commissioner Adamson.
Patrick, unfortunately, we expect nothing less out of you than a perfect report. And I know for an organization this big, that's quite a feat to come through with a clean report, and thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, thank you.
You're here. Any other comments or questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I also just wanted to say thank you to you, all the finance and budgeting staff, for all their due diligence and prudence, and gives us great confidence to know that we have staff who are making sure that our financial position is strong and that policies are followed as they should be, and we don't have to worry about those things. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Other comments or questions? Okay, Commissioner Waters.
I just echo those sentiments and appreciation for all the hard work and often going on behind the scenes without the acknowledgement. So really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Hearing none, I'll just add my voice to the sentiments expressed by my colleagues. Please do share our gratitude with your folks as well. It's really the appropriate emotion is relief to know that you all are on top of things and keeping us on the straight and narrow. So thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next up, our auditors will talk.
What's that?
We have the auditors that will do the presentation next. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Leanne Bagasala, and I work for Malden & Jenkins. And as we previously just went through, sorry, I'm battling throat issues for the last week. My daughter is very sick. I was going to go over the audit results for fiscal year 2024. To start, I do have an agenda slide that just kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to go over. I'm going to mention to you who our engagement team is so you get familiar with the names of the individuals that have continued to work on your audit for the last 3 years. We'll also go over your audit opinions. There's actually 4 of those that we will go over, as well as a couple slides on the required communication that we do have to every year tell you the same thing over and over again. Sorry about that, but it is required. And then at any time, if y'all have questions, please feel free to let me know. So this is a condensed version of who the engagement team is. I will tell you that this audit is a very, very thorough audit. It takes us over 1,000 hours to audit Wake County. And the team is very, very big. I serve as the engagement director. I'm the one that ultimately signs your audit opinion. Every audit that we have requires a second partner, and that second partner is Tim. He serves as our government partner in charge and also the partner in charge of our North Carolina and South Carolina audit, and he's the one that makes sure that I cross my T's and dot my I's and do everything that I need to do to sign your audit opinion. And overall, the team is led by Jennifer as the senior associate, but like I said, it's over 1,000 hours, and there are a lot more people than just the three of us that make up the team. There's about 10 to 12 people that work on this audit throughout the year. So for your first audit opinion, this is the front of your financial statements. This opinion is on your basic financial statements, and it says within that opinion that as your auditor, we consider the internal control structure of the county for the purpose of expressing the opinion on the county's basic financial statements, but not for the purpose of providing an opinion on the effectiveness of internal controls. Our audit is performed in accordance with generally accepted standards of the United States of America, as well as government auditing standards. Our objective is to provide reasonable but not absolute assurance that your basic financial statements are free of material misstatement, but that ultimately your financial statements are the responsibility of county's management. For the audit opinion, in the front of your financial statements, you received an unmodified or a clean audit opinion. That's the highest level of assurance that we can provide as your external auditors, that your financial statements present fairly in accordance with the principles generally accepted by the United States of America. But our responsibility does not extend beyond the information in that report. The next opinion that you received is a report on government auditing standards, or usually referred to as your Yellow Book opinion. In that opinion, it states that the financial package contains a report on the testing of the county's internal controls and compliance with laws and regulations. The report is not intended to provide an opinion on the internal controls of the county, nor is it intended to provide a legal determination of the county's compliance with applicable laws and regulations. That audit is performed in accordance with government auditing standards. You did receive an unmodified or a clean audit opinion for this report. However, we did note one material weakness. That material weakness is included in your schedule of findings and question calls in the compliance report. And we ended up in your opinion explained, but there was a restatement of prior period. So what that means is we restated your fund balance as of 6/30/2023. One of the restatements was $6.2 million of loans receivable. It was in the prior year was recorded in the Affordable Housing Fund, but it should have been reported in the ARPA fund. So we decreased the fund balance in the affordable housing and we added it to the ARPA fund. Just switched it between funds. And there was also a restatement of $2.4 million related to opiate settlement funds. There's been some additional guidance that's come out related to accounting for that opiate settlement fund, which the county anticipates receiving a lot of money for that opiate settlement funds, but that did require a restatement of $2.4 million at the opiate settlement fund level. That increased your fund balance $2.4 million. The next two opinions that we have are over your federal and state grant funds. So the county receives, as previously mentioned, over $160 million in federal and state grants in fiscal year 2024. As your auditor, we were required to perform what's called a single audit over your total expenditures grant related, and that required us to pick 9 major programs to audit in the fiscal year. We audited 7 federal programs and we audited 2 state programs. Some of the bigger programs that we audited were Medicaid, ARPA, foster care, SNAP, which is food stamps, WIC, and emergency rental. We also audited a formula grant for the Department of Transportation, your lottery program, and your juvenile crime program. So a lot of testing went into that. That's where we work with a lot of different agencies at the county to do that testing. We issued 2 audit opinions related to your grant funding. One is over the county's federal programs in accordance with the Uniform Grant Guidance. That opinion was also unmodified or a clean opinion, but we did note 2 significant deficiencies. One is related to Medicaid eligibility. The amount of folks that are applying for eligibility at the county level is a lot. And so we pick a sample of 60 and we redetermine eligibility for individuals receiving funding during the year. And we noted 3 out of 60 technical errors, which means that there's something missing in the case file documentation-wise, but the person was still eligible. The state of North Carolina requires us to call that a audit finding, although I would say that that's it was pretty good compared to how much you actually take in and give out from a Medicaid perspective. And that's a reoccurring finding that most counties your size have, something with Medicaid eligibility. The second finding we had at the federal level related to foster care, Medicaid, and SNAP or food stamps. We review day sheets, which employees sign off on and their supervisors sign off on that get submitted to the state, and there was some inaccuracy in some of those reporting. For both of these findings, though, Department of Social Services has responded with a corrective action, which generally is training for the folks involved in these type of compliance matters. The next report that we issued over the county state programs in accordance with the State of North Carolina Single Audit Implementation Act. You received an unmodified opinion for your state programs, and we noted 2 significant deficiencies as well, which are the same as your federal programs. The same as Medicaid has state funding to it, as well as foster and SNAP. So 2 of the same findings related to your state funding. One other thing that I do have to note is that I'm required by state statute to inform the commissioners, which was previously mentioned, that you have a letter that you need to submit to the local government commission responding to some of the things that are in your audit opinion. For example, you have to explain to them how you're working towards and understand what you received a material weakness on. And there was also a very, very tiny budget violation of $31,000, which is very small for the county, that you have to respond to within 60 days of my audit presentation. The next couple slides are required communication that I will skim through. You do have this PowerPoint for yourself if you want to go back and kind of look through these things, but the Wake County management was responsible for selecting the appropriate accounting policies to use. Those are disclosed in Note 1 of the basic financial statements. Our jobs as auditors is to review the standards that the county uses and to ensure that they are in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. We have no issues with the standards that the Wake County has. We did implement a new GASB statement, which is a Governmental Accounting Standards Board statement number 100 this year, called Accounting Changes and Error Corrections. There's a footnote in your financial statements, it's footnote 24 and 25, that goes over how that was implemented in the current year. As far as judgments and estimates are concerned, there are a lot of judgments and estimates used to derive your financial statements. They're an integral part of the statements. They are calculated by management or their actuaries and based on best knowledge and experience, and we had no issues with the estimates used by Wake County. From a relationship standpoint, we received full cooperation from county's management and staff. We had no disagreements or arguments of any kind during the audit. As part of the audit, we do require management to sign what's called a management representation letter that basically says the information that was given to us during the audit was accurate and complete, and that's something that is required of all audits, not just Wake County. So that's something that we are required to get to issue our audit opinion. During the audit, we do have to let you know that we were not aware of Wake County consulting with other accountants. We are obviously the number one choice if there is a question or technical issue. We prefer, the county to come to us as their external auditors. But there wasn't any consultation to our knowledge, and there was no significant issues discussed with management during the audit. From an audit adjustment standpoint, there were no unrecorded or past audit adjustments. So any thing that came out of the audit that required adjustment to your books and records, it was made. From a disclosure standpoint, you do have at least 50 pages of footnote disclosures in your statements to read. Part of the process we do as an audit firm is we do review the disclosures to make sure that they appear neutral, consistent, and they support the basic financial statements. This next paragraph is some legal jargon that basically says that we gave you an audit opinion over the entire financial statement. So if you redistribute the financial statements, please don't remove anything from the financial statements or add to the financial statements. And then the last required communication, I do have to let you know that Maltas and Jenkins is independent of the county and its respective financial reporting process. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
Thank you very much. Commissioners. Commissioner Stallings.
Hi, thank you so much for this detailed presentation. I just wanted to circle back to the opioid settlement money that you spoke about, the $2.4 million. Could you just explain again what was the concern and what was the correction needed for that?
Sure. So the opiate settlement money, you basically receive that money instead of litigating with individuals. You receive the money. You basically signed over your right to litigate to receive the money. The only thing that we changed in the reporting of the opiate settlement money is at the fund level. When you're talking about a governmental fund, there's a concept of measurable and available, and basically any money you receive within 60 days after year-end has to go back to the previous fiscal year. So we just moved money back. That's all we did. It wasn't changing the total amount that you were given. It's just a accounting standard. We had to move it back. That's all. And so instead of recognizing the $2.4 million in fiscal year 2024, we basically put it back to 2023 just to make sure that we were in line with the standards.
That's very helpful. I appreciate that clarification. Other comments, questions? Okay. Seeing none. Well, thank you very much for all your time and for all your work. 1,000 hours sounds like a lot of hours.
It is a lot.
Mr. Flannery, is there anything else related to this presentation? Okay, any final comments, questions? Okay, and Mr. Attorney, my understanding based on our agenda materials is that there is a motion in order to receive the report. Is that correct?
There's no need for it, but it's okay to do it.
Do you have a recommendation?
I think you've received the report, but if you'd like to have a motion just for sleep a little bit better at night, it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, we rarely do it, but it's fine. So make the motion to receive it, second, and unanimous. You're good to go.
Okay. Well, I suppose then we'll entertain a motion if anyone has one.
I make a motion we accept the report as presented.
Second.
Thank you very much. The motion's been made and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Okay, that brings us, that was our one regular agenda item. Thank you both very much for your report. Our appointments are typically handled by the vice chair, but given that we have just elected a new vice chair, my understanding is that our clerk staff will present the proposed appointments. Is that correct? Okay, and I believe Ms. Wilm, it's not. Okay, we've established it's not Commissioner Evans. Ms. Womack, is that you?
Commissioner Evans misses these appointments.
Ah.
So yes, Mr. Chair, I'll be reading the appointments for today. These are appointments that are made for December 2nd, 2024. The first one is Capital Area Workforce Development. They have one reappointment of Mr. Walter Axford. He is the Organized Labor Wake County Representative. Fuquay-Varina Board of Adjustment has one reappointment of Michelle Braxton. She's the ETJ representative. Fuquay-Varina Planning and Zoning Board has one reappointment of James Adcock. He's the ETJ representative. The Historic Preservation Commission has one reappointment of Suzanne Prince. The Roseville Planning Board has two reappointments, Frank Pierce and Michael Moss, and both are the ETJ representatives. The Wake Forest Board of Adjustment has two reappointments and one resignation. The two reappointments are Mark Williams, who is the ETJ representative, and Jonathan Bivens, who is the town appointee member. And the resignation is Brian Lang, and he served as the vice chair, and he was also a town appointee. The Wake Forest Planning and Zoning Board has one reappointment of Adam Redler, and he was the ETJ representative. The Water Partnership has 7 reappointments, 5 term completions, 4 recommendations, and 2 vacancies. The 7 reappointments are Edward Buchan, and he was the municipality for the city of Raleigh. Leah Harrison served as the Garner municipality seat. Christian Ike Archer served as the Knightdale municipality representative. George Mathis was the private well owner. Jeff Atkins is the at-large representative. Mitchell Woodward is the at-large representative. And Suzanne Harris is the builders and real estate representative. The 5-term completions: Rachel Ingham is the Holly Springs Municipality Representative. Ben Mills is the Morrisville Municipality Representative. Mark Collins is the Wendell Municipality Representative. Teresa Furr was the Soil and Water Conservation Representative. And Mike Burchell was the Academic Representative. 4 recommendations by the Water Partnership is for Rachel Jones to fill the vacancy for the Holly Springs Municipality seat, Mark Spinoli to fill the vacancy for the Town of Morrisville Municipality seat, Emily Bateman to fill the vacancy for the Soil and Water Conservation Representative seat, and Dr. Elizabeth Nichols to fill the vacancy for the Academic Representative. And the 2 vacancies for the Town of for the Water Partnership is for the Town of Roseville and the Town of Zebulon. And those are the appointments for the month of December.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointments as recited.
I move approval.
Old habits die hard.
I second.
All right, the motion has been made and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay, we have passed the appointments, and I think next we will hear about the upcoming vacancies. Is that right?
That's correct. And for the month of January 2025, the vacancies that we're currently working on: Alliance Health will have 1 vacancy for a commissioner liaison. Health and Human Services Board will have 2 reappointments. The Historic Preservation Commission will have 5 reappointments. The Housing Authority will have 2 reappointments. The Juvenile Crime Prevention Council will have 7 reappointments. The Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority will have 2 reappointments. And Water Partnership, again, will have 3 vacancies. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Clerk. Thank you to our clerk's team for keeping us rolling on the appointments front. Okay, now that we've concluded the appointments portion of our agenda, we are now in other business. We have 2 items. The first is reports from advisory and regional boards from our commissioners, if there are any. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to other reports from commissioners more generally. Are there any? I almost said Madam Vice Chair. Commissioner Evans.
Yes, a couple of things. On the 19th, did enjoy participating with Wake County Smart Start and their Pastries for Partners event. Commissioner Stallings and I were both there. It was a great event that they've started having each year, and they invite all the various community partners that assist them in things to just gather and network, and that was on the 19th, and enjoyed it very much. And then last week on Tuesday, attended the Farm to City Day, which is sponsored by the Wake County Farm Bureau. Commissioner Mile and Commissioner Stallings and myself were all there. Always a great event, kind of co-coordinated with our Wake County Cooperative Extension folks. And such a great day to see all the students in Wake County that come out, that participate in the FFA programs throughout our public school system. And it's really growing after, a period of time when it wasn't a popular thing. And I had a chance to talk to quite a number of students and advisors and find out that, there's a number of schools that now teach agricultural courses in terms of their CTE, but I was told there's about 30 schools currently, between some high schools and some middle schools, participating now in Wake County in the FFA program, and how cool is that? Thanks.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, Commissioner Waters.
I just wanted to share my sentiments of how exciting it was to have so many students in the chamber tonight giving public comment. And also wanted to do a friendly reminder, tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, and there are many, many worthwhile agencies that are welcoming gifts this time of year as we pour into the various needs of our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, and a good reminder. Anything else from the board? Going once, going twice. Okay. Mr. Attorney, is there a need for a closed session?
No, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Attorney. That brings us to the very last item on our agenda, which is to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is made and properly seconded. Before we vote, I just want to say happy holidays to everyone since this is the last meeting of the year. Do we have any instructions regarding poinsettias?
Very basic instructions, take one.
Okay. Thank you all very much. Happy holidays to everyone. And all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.